The Trevor Project provides crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to LGBTQ teens and young adults. Creators of the Academy Award-winning short film Trevor founded the organization more than 20 years ago. The movie is based on a gay 13-year-old boy who attempts to take his own life after being rejected by his friends because of his sexuality. According to the Trevor Project, in the past year, 42% of LGBTQ youth seriously considered attempting suicide, including more than half of transgender and non-binary youth.
Well, I think this research is, first of all, a positive sign to reflect on. There are so many challenges that LGBTQ young people are facing, and constant discrimination and attacks on the political level. And we are seeing that 85% of LGBTQ young people have pride in being LGBTQ. We know that when you see images of people who are successful, when there is less discrimination and stigmatization in society, that helps young people feel proud of themselves, and that allows them to succeed and to thrive.
So, which issues do you feel are at the forefront for LGBTQ youth at this moment?
Well, LGBTQ young people face many of the same challenges that all young people face. This has been an incredibly challenging year with COVID-19, the national reckoning on systemic racism and racial violence. But LGBTQ young people face particular challenges that exacerbate the concerns that all young people have. This has been a very challenging year with a constant onslaught of attacks, in particular against transgender and non-binary young people. We have seen at the state level legislators and politicians trying to prevent trans young people from using the restroom, trying to prevent them from accessing medical care, and trying to prevent them from being able to play sports with their friends and peers. And when you see that onslaught of attacks, it affects people's mental health. And so we hope to send a message in this Pride Month. It is important for politicians to be taking steps to protect young people, not to attack and to harm them.
And Amit, President Biden, as you know, has rolled back several Trump-era policies affecting transgender rights. How is the government providing, better protection to transgender students these days? Is it providing better protection?
Well, the Biden administration has taken a few very important steps to protect LGBTQ young people. They've issued a set of policies and how they're going to conduct things related to Title IX. Title IX prevents and prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex. And based on recent Supreme Court rulings, the Biden administration has now affirmed that that means that you cannot discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. So this sends a really important message, not just to young people, but to teachers, youth-facing adults, principals, schools, administrators, that everyone needs to be protected. Schools should be a place where all people can thrive, all students can be themselves, and that includes LGBTQ young people.
Is there anything else you would like to see implemented? Are there other initiatives you're encouraging?
Well, there are a number of things that we're encouraging. We're hoping that the Biden administration will take more steps to enforce actions against schools and others that are violating Title IX. We hope that they will implement policies in terms of healthcare that can prevent discrimination, in particular against transgender people, but also on the basis of sexual orientation in the healthcare system. And we know that there needs to be more action taken to improve mental health care. There is not nearly enough investment or support for mental health access and suicide prevention. That helps everyone, and it disproportionately impacts LGBTQ people. And the last thing I will say is that we hope the administration will take more action to prevent conversion therapy. We know that this discredited and dangerous practice is harming LGBTQ young people every single day. It increases their risk of suicide. It does not work, and we hope that the administration will take more action to prevent kids from this form of what is essentially torture.